We have to talk to you about what's happening in the Indian markets right now. We're coming off a terrible October. The first trading session of November has been painful to say the least. I mean, it's being blamed on the US election uncertainty and the Fed, but is there a deeper problem here you see?
I think the market was running a marathon and it's just tired. It's just a bit tired. The results haven't been good. The troubles at the bottom of the pyramid in the Indian economy. I think it just needs time. I think it'll probably pass through a dull last quarter of this financial year, and then next quarter we'll start looking again to a more upbeat assessment. I think the market is falling of its own weight rather than blaming the US or blaming other reasons for it.
Just a quick one, Mr. Damani. This is more specific in terms of actionables. You've expressed optimism about PSUs in the past. This space of the market has, just like the rest of the market, has seen a big correction. Do you feel PSU OMCs, for example, look even more attractive? Or any sort of basket in the market right now that looks like a good allocation, a good sector that could be allocated to?
Well, I'll first make a motherhood statement. When I joined the market in the mid-80s, sometime, the index Sensex was below 800. Today it's 80,000. It's up 100x.
Everything's expensive.
Not that expensive, but it pays to be invested in India. I think these corrections and volatility are a part of our business, and they will happen from time to time. There's no reason to panic and get out of the Indian markets because it's going to go down 10%. So what? You just have to ride it out. It's not like a game of cards where you have a bad pack and you hold on and pack up and try and find a new pack of cards to do with. The way to make money is to remain invested in high-quality businesses and ride out the volatility. The risk of permanent loss of capital in a great business is much smaller than the risk of loss in terms of panicking due to volatility. Having said that, I think the PSU basket itself had gone up 20x, 15x. So they're correcting. There's nothing more to it than that. That's, all good stocks correct over long periods of time, give a new opportunity for new investors to come into the market. In terms of the new sectors that I particularly happen to like, I've mentioned to you on the Diwali show, I like the place of the public digital infrastructure space. We are making a digital India in terms of KYC, Aadhaar, biometrics, and those people who build that infrastructure, I think have long years of growth ahead of them. So that's one sector. And what I find surprising for me, because I've never been a big believer in the pharma sector as such, and other than the outstanding companies in the large cap, which are like DVs and Dr. Reddy's, they're doing fine. A number of small cap and mid cap companies in India are now coming out with intellectual property, developing their own drugs. It could be anti-obesity, it could be Botox, it could be breast cancer, it could be in so many other antibiotics, for example. So I would suggest you look at them because the intellectual property is not yet being valued. I think they're still being valued as generics or contract drug manufacturers. But the fact that they have intellectual property means these companies will over time re-rate.
So would you do a lump sum investment in these ideas, or would you stagger your buying given that there could be uncertainty on the horizon?
There's never a clear answer, but I generally the staggering kind. I tend to buy over a period of time.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Mr. Damani, for joining us today.
Always a pleasure. It's fun to be here.
Are we seeing you back tomorrow? Results, I think, clear by tomorrow, or maybe more if it's a close fight?
The last time it took almost 4 days before the election was called. I think the processes have improved, so it may be called. But whatever happens, if Trump loses, it is going to be litigated. I guarantee you that. On Trump's tombstones, he says, I won. So he's not going to accept a defeat, no matter what happens to you. So if he loses, I think there'll be a long period of court cases going on. If he wins, then of course it'll be done in a few days.
So we'll have Mr. Damani hopefully back and talking to us when the numbers are clear, the results are clear, to talk about what next and what it means. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Tamanna. Thank you, Samina.